There comes a time when the performance of your life becomes too heavy to carry. It strikes without notice. Perhaps you're awake at 3 a.m., gazing at the ceiling. Or you're trapped in traffic, surrounded by people, yet completely isolated. In a crowded space, you laugh and engage, but internally, something is changing. The foundations you erected are beginning to falter. You start to doubt everything quietly. Why does existence feel like a maze with no exit? Why do you adhere to guidelines that don't align with your core? The harder you push, the more pushback you encounter. It seems as if the cosmos is resisting your endeavors. You encounter another message about optimism, working tirelessly, having faith. But what if the system is flawed? What if the only thing expanding inside you is a heavy, drained lethargy? Not mere sleepiness, but a fundamental weariness of the heart. You long to run away, to vanish, or just to cease. Not from idleness, but because you're bearing burdens invisible to others. You're weary of projecting strength when you feel void. Weary of hearing "keep going" while you're crumbling inside. Experiencing this doesn't mean you're flawed. It means you're stirring. You're awakening to a society that values detachment over genuineness, a structure that promotes success but neglects integration. What if this falling apart is actually your entry into something new? When your core understands it can't thrive in these conditions, it starts to withdraw. This withdrawal isn't defeat. It's the dawn of transformation. Most people don't reach this crossroads without first whispering, "I'm finished." That phrase isn't always about death. It's about terminating the artificial existence you've endured. It's an assertion, a boundary, a denial to prolong the act. You can't maintain the illusion of wellness when you're not. And that illusion is what's been depleting you. So maybe, quitting isn't about admitting failure. It's about releasing the form of life that forces you to disown yourself each day. The one where you turn into what others desire and drift from your true nature. What if departing is a spiritual choice? Shedding the din, the rivalry, the craving for validation, the quest for flawlessness. Forsaking the contest you didn't enter, the personality assigned to you, the story written before you could speak. What if your breakdown is actually your essence refusing the deception? Look deeper. Under the anger, under the fatigue, there's mourning. Mourning for the time lost living by another's decree. Mourning for the pieces of you hid to fit in. Mourning for the delight you put off, the realities you swallowed, the art you never created, the hurt you never expressed. You didn't collapse. You adapted. And now, you're rousing. And rousing in a damaged world is agonizing. But don't mistake your rousing for incompetence. Don't mix your disgust with despair. Don't let this intense burning feeling in your heart convince you that you're brittle. Because this moment is holy. It's where everything fabricated starts to fade. The self-image, the costumes, the deceit, and what's left is the truth. And yes, truth can wound. But it also mends. Perhaps you were never meant to succeed in this dimension. Perhaps you were meant to see through it, to stand in the fire of your dissolution and arise authentic. There is power hidden in coming undone. There is honor in collapse. There is beauty in choosing yourself when the world won't. So why do we fight this unraveling? So don't rush to silence this emotion. Don't escape from it. Be with it. Hear it. Ask it. What are you teaching me that I've been too scared to face? Maybe it's the segment of you that requires respite, not from sloth, but because you've been fighting silent battles. Maybe it's the part that's enraged, not because you're cynical, but because your borders have been crossed for years. Maybe it's the child within crying, "Stop the act, this hurts." If you feel like stopping, don't dismiss it. Embrace it. Because the impulse to quit is often a spirit's shout for drastic shift. Not death, but resurgence. And no one talks about this. Everyone showcases their change. But no one reveals the antecedent, the shaking, the unfastening, the hushed moment on the ground when you breathe. I can't go on. But here's the revelation. That breath isn't fragility, it's candor. And it's the start of your return. Because maybe you're not here to impress this realm. Maybe you're here to unmask it, to deny the shallow, to tear down what was always false. Maybe you're here to feel what others avoid feeling. To ache profoundly, to love openly, to break magnificently. Because only those who shatter comprehend what it means to be intact. You were taught that strength means endurance. But real strength is truth, is gentleness, is choosing not to deaden yourself just to be acceptable. And maybe you've been absorbing agony for so long, you've lost the sense of liberation. This world applauds showmanship, but your soul is tired of performing. And maybe that's why you thought of quitting. Because the identity you built, the you that obeyed, persisted, smiled, overcame, was never the real you. It was a barrier. And sometimes the only way to become who you truly are is to let that barrier fall away. So if it feels like you're unraveling, good. Continue. Defy the rules you were never meant to follow. Destroy the cage you thought was your identity. Leave the table you were never meant to join. You don't owe anyone the performance of being fine. You were made for something true. And truth has a cost. It costs you comfort. It costs you illusion. It costs you the fake relationships, the fake aims, the fake smiles. But what do you gain? But in return, it gives you something precious. Yourself. Not the polished version, not the hidden one. The version of you that is raw, open, alive. The one that remembers how to feel, how to rest, how to say no, how to stop running, how to breathe in quiet without needing a performance or an audience. You see, the problem was never you. It was the myth they told you, that your importance relied on being useful, that your merit depended on your production, that your emotions were a trouble, that your tenderness was a fault, that your pain made you incomplete. They were wrong. Your pain is proof that you're still alive, that you still care, that deep within you there's a spark that won't die, even if now it only flickers. So, no, don't quit existence. Quit the mode of existence that was killing you. Quit the hustle that left you empty. Quit the masks that made you a stranger to yourself. Quit the silence that chained your truth. Quit trying to be liked by making yourself smaller. Quit anything that makes you sacrifice your essence. And once you do, what comes next won't be easy, but it will be yours. You'll rebuild, not quickly, not with a map, but slowly, decision by decision. You'll learn to pause without guilt, to say, I don't know, without shame, to dwell in your sadness without hurrying to cure it. You'll find happiness in places that don't need posting. You'll cry and not say sorry. You'll decline and mean it. You'll look in the glass and for the first time in years, you won't see someone shattered. You'll see someone transforming. That's what this voyage is. Not a direct climb, not a legend, but a descent into your own shadows, and from there, a return. As Carl Jung observed, only the contradiction can hold the whole of life. You are the contradiction, hurting and healing, falling and waking, quitting and emerging. Because the moment you said, I can't do this anymore, was the moment you ended what was never meant for you. And that is where real life begins. This isn't about being fixed. It's about being free. Free to feel, free to change, free to let go of the parts, the pressures, the static, free to build something genuine from the wreckage. So no, don't quit growth. Let the old version die. Let the facade burn. Let the world misread you. Let them call you broken. Because only those who've been dismantled know how to piece themselves back together without acting anymore. You're not weak. You're aware, and the world will try to make you forget that again. But every time you recall, every time you pick your truth over their approval, every time you sit in the darkness and still decide to remain, you reclaim a part of your spirit. This pause, this is not the end. This is the raw, unpolished, unfiltered start. And from here, you must only be authentic. If this message spoke to you, please like this video and subscribe to Winds of Thought for more journeys into real living.